Hey, what's up, family? I am at a nearby park from where I live, and as you can see, it is a very comfortable winter's day. The sun is out. I love it. And sometimes I just come here and I just sit out and watch the geese and goose in their natural environment. And it's a beautiful and quite spiritual scene. And it helps me to decompress, to unwind, and recharge. So many of you guys write me asking, Astro Boo, how do you stay so positive in such a negative world? And how do you deal with negative people and negative situations? And this is in part due to my um, my love of nature and engaging whenever I can, enjoying the rays of the sun, feeling the rays of the sun, becoming one with it. And I know that I've spoken many times before that as the occur, we're going to experience more of everything there is, and that includes negativity. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about negative people, but what we can do is change how we interact or how we process those negative people and situations. And I had years of preparation. And when I say years of preparation and dealing with negativity, it has been through hardships and persecution, discrimination, being denied and blocked simply because someone didn't like me for being me. An elder told me a very long time ago that I need to get thick skin because there are going to be people who are just going to hate you for your light. This is exactly what I was told. And I was about 15 at the time, and I really didn't understand it because I'm thinking, well, I'm the nicest person anyone would ever meet. I couldn't hurt a fly. All I ever want to do is help people. I don't care about material gains. I don't care about fame. I would never hurt anyone. Why would anyone hate me? Well, now that I'm older, I understand that what it boils down to is that there are so many hurt and injured souls in the world. And because of that, we who are injured and hurt and are not finding ways to cope or transmute it, we often attack those who have a strength, talent, or quality, or character, or integrity that those of us who are injured and wounded would love to have. We often look at those who appear to have more than what we have and resent them and hate them. I had a situation years ago on a job where an employer literally denied me, and I was the most qualified for the job, but I was denied because, it was a very close knit environment, but it got out that this person told someone in confidence, and this person told someone, and it ended up coming full circle that I was not given the job because I already have too much. I can laugh about it now, but at the time, it was a very hurtful thing for someone to, number one, I don't even know what they base that I have too much on. It wasn't like I was wealthy. I was making pretty good money at the time, but it was through hard work and sacrifice. I earned every dime of it, and I lived very humbly and always have and still do to this very day. But this is someone who clearly resented what they thought I had They resented the abundance that they perceived me as having. Now, I always say that when we have health, strength, friends, and family who love us unconditionally, we have really all we need, all we really need. Everything else becomes more of a want, as far as I'm concerned, because when we have love and support, all those wants kind of fall into place. And then we have the luxuries. And those luxuries, yes, there are lots of us who have an enormous amount of luxuries at our disposal. But are we really happy? Do we have those things that really matter? And the truth of the matter is that there are many of us who do have these things and are some of the most unhappiest, the most miserable, the most spiteful amongst us. And this is the truth. And I thank goodness that I've had the kind of life where I was exposed to all kinds of people of all walks of life, economic backgrounds, races, ethnicity, sexual orientation. This is the best kind of education, I think, because you don't rely so much on stereotypes. You don't rely on them at all because experience is and will always be the best teacher. And experience is what has given me the thick skin that I have today, the resilience, the resolve to keep my head up and not give in to negativity. Now, this is part of it. And again, I always use my truth because that's, at the end of the day, that's the only thing that I can validate. What, even if it's just my own perception, it is still my truth, not something that I've read in books as I've been accused of doing. I don't believe in relying or debating his story because, for the most part, much of history I was not there to experience and witness, to speak and defend so passionately about, but I do so with my personal experiences. Our experiences is what we must, at the end of the day, use to help strengthen us. Not the experience of others as much. We can use the experiences and the truth of others to help us in wherever we are and how to navigate or cope with life or situations. But we should never depend or rely on the experience or the truth of others. This is how we get in trouble. We need to step back and take our emotions out of dealing with people who are negative and who project negativity. We must look at it from our experiences. I'm coming back to experience for a reason. Because my experience has shown me that when someone projects negativity towards me, whenever someone denies me and block me, it's never really about me. It is their experience that is reinforcing a belief, and that belief is making him or her or an organization or intelligences feel justified in doing whatever it takes for that situation, from making him or her or it feel inadequate or threatened or powerless. I don't have that in me. I'm not threatened or uncomfortable by the truth of others or by other people's light. As a matter of fact, I make it a point to understand it. There was a time when, yes, these things were very, very hurtful to me, but I didn't have the maturity and understanding and the level of experience, it's coming back to experience, that I have now. Many of us don't have the experience and may not even have a point of reference to understand what I'm saying outside of experience. So let me give you guys some advice from a different perspective. Whenever we are in a negative situation or negative words or hurtful, spiteful words are being directed towards us, take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and immediately think, this is not about me. We must remove ourselves from that equation, that situation, that environment, and become as objective as possible. Remove our emotions. Again, take a deep breath in and out, and immediately tell yourself, it is not about me. And it's not. If you are someone who does not have to submit yourself to negativity, do not do it. You have that right and you have that choice. But like most of us, we cannot avoid it. So we must do things to off balance or detach ourselves. Like I said earlier, I come out in nature. I spend time with my nieces and my nephews and my mom and my sister and my friends, people who love me and who understands me, and they charge me and I charge them. I get out in nature. I take in the elements of the sun. I focus on the things that I am doing that is making the world, making the world a better place, one light at a time. I love your emails because they let me know that I'm doing something right. I don't care about the blogs that are being written about me as I gain more momentum in speaking my truth. Speaking of which, a family member brought a situation to my attention. Like I said, I don't usually read blogs written about me, but this particular time I just thought I would take a peek. And I read it, and the person who started the blog was of a negative intent. And naturally, it attracted those who had that kind of vibe about them. And it was basically a field day of nitpicking, saying very negative and just flat out untrue things. And believe it or not, I found it to be hilarious. It was so funny. Now, the person that I was, let's say, 5 or 10 years ago probably would have been depressed and heard about what I read, but this is a testament of the person that I am today, that I could read that spitefulness and that negativity and those lies and laugh about it, because I am at a point now where I know and understand it's not about me. And at the same time, I thank those people, because you know what? Even in their spitefulness and injured state, to lash out against me because perhaps there's something about me that they resent that I have, they are doing something beautiful. They're spreading my light. It's bringing more people to what I have to say, and then they could judge from that point on if what is posted about me is true. I'm sorry. I don't mean to crack up, but someone had posted that I wear blue contacts. I mean, something so ridiculous. I've never worn contacts in my life. And that, I read books from someone else and immediately record my video stating what I read I mean, just these outrageous things. But again, this is a perfect example of how we nitpick and we do everything in our power to make ourselves feel powerful in the presence of someone that we perceive as threatening or a reminder of what we do not have. And so, again, I did not take it personal. I'm using my truth, family, again, because at the end of the day, that's all I can speak from. My experience, what I perceived, and what I've learned, what I have observed. And for better or worse, to my distractors and detractors, I am not changing one single bit about who I am, what I feel, and for lack of a better word, what I know for myself. I am not going to change. I hope that I inspire you guys to do the same. At the same time, although I'm not going to change the core of who I am and what I'm about, I will continue to keep an open mind. I will continue to learn, grow, and question, because this is where true evolution, this is where true evolution, this is where it begins. This is where it is. And this is where it will always be. So ignore the negativity if you can. Stay away from the negativity if you can, but if you can't, get out in nature, spend time with friends, be amongst like minds, accentuate all of your positives. For those of us who are empaths, we must really, really get into keeping our emotions intact. And we do that through meditation. Get into some kind of meditation. There are many meditation techniques out there. What I recommend is that we try different ones until we find one that works for us, that works the best. Eat more leafy green sun-based foods. Try to eat as much raw foods as possible. I know from experience, again, that when I ate absolutely no processed foods, I cut out the sodas and the things that I love more than anything, cookies and cakes and candy. That's my weakness, y'all. Still battling with that. But when I cut out all those things, I had more astral projection, revelations, and experiences during those times than I had in my entire life. So if we can get more into getting into things that don't weigh us down vibrationally as empaths, we can better control and be vibrating outside of the toxicity that people project and the toxicity in the world. So that's pretty much it, family. As always, you are loved beyond measure. And it is that time for us to go deep within, hold on tight, and go for what we know. We know your experience, your observation, your perspective. It is what you know.
You're gonna